Bloggy Friends Show.
What's up, my bloggy friends? Famous Ashley Grant here, and today I've got a serious fangirl conversation for you. I've been a huge fan of Sandy Forster for years. She's a money mindset mentor and the author of How to Be Wildly Wealthy Fast. In this episode, we're chatting about how to get into a wealthy mindset and make your wildest wealth dreams become reality. Let's get into it. I'm a big fan of your books and all that good stuff. I played the millionaire game.
The money game, yeah.
Yes. Oh, and I loved it so much, I saved all the emails and then I resent them to myself again and played it again. So
cool. Yeah.
So do you still do that?
Yeah, still.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So welcome to the show. I'm so excited you could be here with us today.
Thank you.
Okay, now for anybody who doesn't know, because I fangirl like crazy over you, but for anyone who doesn't know, can you tell us what it is you do?
Sure. I think the number one thing I do is help women or entrepreneurs in general transform the way they think so they can manifest more money in their life.
That is a great summary, absolutely. And one of the things that drew me to you is you wrote a book, Wildly Wealthy Women, and I found it at what felt like the perfect time. I was really getting serious about business and wanting to become a millionaire. So tell us a little bit of your background, how you went from welfare to millionaire.
Sure. So I guess for me, I had always had this kind of entrepreneur spirit in that I hated working for other people. I felt completely trapped. I felt like I was in prison. And so I kind of started down that path. I started by sewing swim and gym wear because I lived near the beach. And so why not? That was a big flop. So I ended up $100,000 in debt and on welfare. And around that time was when I also divorced my husband. So I had a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old and no money whatsoever. And I just feel so blessed that I was able to discover the law of attraction and able to discover mindset and able to discover about neuroscience and able to discover about the quantum field. And I just latched onto all of that because, my life was so crappy at the time. And so I fell in love with how that all made me feel. And so think about it. When you feel crappy thinking about how your life is, $100,000 in debt, a car that leaks so much that when it rained, you had a plant growing in the back, living, always renting, never being able to stay where you are, rent going up, not being able to put things on the wall, living that life. And instead imagining this amazing life where I had my own home, a beautiful car, I could travel, I could do whatever I want. So obviously I just kept focusing on how I wanted things to be. And that is the secret to attracting what you want in your life. That's the secret to whether it's in business, whether it's in life, whatever it is, but that's what I continue to do. And as I did that, I began to see and experience and have opportunities come my way. And literally, I could talk for hours about it, but literally my life completely turned around and I went from welfare to millionaire. And, using obviously the internet has been just the biggest part of my journey. And so, I just feel so blessed that learning the internet, applying everything I knew about law of attraction and the quantum field and neuroscience and putting that all together in a process in a way that really suited me, what happened was other people wanted to know what I was doing and how did I transform my life. And so basically I created an entire business around it, and that's what I do. I now teach other people how to do the same. So that's my story in a nutshell.
That's awesome. Now, they say that, one of the big things that I keep hearing over and over again, depending on who you speak to, whether it's, listening to Abraham Hicks or Denise Duffield Thomas or all the people that talk about, mindset and attraction, they say that action is the key secret phrase inside law of attraction. What do you think about that?
Oh my gosh. This is the thing that most people miss. And, there's lots of teachers out there that teach law of attraction, and it is all about, meditating or affirming or visualizing and expecting everything to drop into your lap. But the book, a lot of people that are into law of attraction have read the book or watched the movie The Secret. Now, and it's a great book, but it was a great, movie book, but it was inspired by another book that was written, I think, over 120 years ago, a long time ago, by a man called Wallace, called The Science of Getting Rich. And it's written in very old-fashioned language, but there's one phrase in there that I absolutely adore, and it is, by thought the thing you desire is brought to you, but by action, you receive it. So it's all about, yes, your thinking definitely allows it to go from the quantum field into kind of it's still in the metaphysical or the non-physical. It's just sitting out there. But when you take action, it crosses from the non-physical, the metaphysical, into the physical. So when you combine, and this is why I'm combining body, mind, and spirit. So combining your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And that's what I teach everyone, because when you combine them, although that's when the magic happens. It's not just in the mindset work. That's a huge part. Like without the mindset, you're not going to create the success you want. But without the action, you're not going to reach the level that you really could.
So let's say someone comes to you and they're like, I want to start a blog, a blogging-based business, and I don't know if it's going to be successful. What would be the very first thing you would say to them?
Stop saying, I don't know if it's going to be successful. Number one. And instead, mindset and practical. So on the practical level, go out there and look at all the different blogs that are out there now. Look at what other people are doing, and don't let that scare you. Don't let that freak you out. Don't let that make you go into comparison mode and, I'm never going to be that good. I don't know why I even bothered starting. Don't go down that far. Just see what's possible. Get inspired. So that's the practical side. But then on the mindset side, then start to either create a guided visualization or some affirmations, or just continually see yourself and feel, because it's not just seeing, but it's feeling that you are on that path to success and you are a great blogger and you are going to create this amazing business. And when you put yourself into the mindset of something that you desire as if it's already happened, that's when you start to move things around in the quantum field. And I know a lot of that sounds very kind of woo-woo and out there, but science is validating it. Like, that's why we talk now about the quantum field, not just about the universe, because science is validating that this is real and we have the ability to create our life the way that we want through our thoughts, through our energy, through our feelings. So yeah, it's all about taking that practical action, but then combining it with the mindset.
It's interesting you say that about how science is proving it, because I'm going to totally misquote it, but I remember the story of the bottles of water and the scientist who was speaking different phrases into the different bottles of water. And then when he looked at them under a microscope, it actually changed the molecular level of what they saw. I know that's kind of what you're bringing to mind.
Absolutely. And honestly, the whole water, and I can't remember who was the initial person that discovered that, but I remember for decades now, when my kids were little, and my kids are now in their 30s, but when they were little, if anyone said anything to each other, I would say, oh, you hurt my water. Because I taught them that we're made up of, all these atoms and energy, but we are so much water. Like there's a huge percentage of us that is water. And the words that we speak to someone else, and also the words that we speak to ourselves, change who we are. So you've got to really be conscious, be mindful, be aware of what you think and what you say to yourself and about yourself, because that can be a make or break. You really have to be gentle with yourself, be kind to yourself, talk to yourself, and think about what you're doing in the same way that you would a best friend, someone that you really loved and wanted to support, because we can be really good at doing that, but we can tear ourselves down, and that's just not going to get you anywhere. You really got to love yourself as much as you love other people.
Yes, I can't agree more. Last year I went through a period where I was actually writing love letters to myself. And that saying it out loud, that sounds so silly to me. But at the same time, when I was reading them back, it felt like I was finally hearing what needed to be said. Yeah. And so I'm kind of curious, how is it like if you're in a position where you're just, I don't want to say down on your luck, because I don't believe in luck, but you're not getting the needle to move forward in your business. Like, what do you do to get yourself into the mindset of, I believe this can actually become real? Because isn't that what manifestation really means?
Totally. You've got to believe that it's real for it to actually come real. And I can give you an actual real life example. So probably about 20 years ago, I decided, I heard about this thing called life coaching. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. Mainly because you could work from home and make money. I was like, yes, I'm such an introvert. Yep, let me work from home, make money. That sounds great. And plus, it was in the personal development field. So I thought, this is for me. So I did my training to become a life coach, and I started coaching, and a few months into it, I started to feel like, what the heck am I doing? Like, I'm $100,000 in debt. I'm on welfare. My life is a mess. I have no relationship. I'm so disorganized. I'm all over the place. Who am I to be coaching people? And I actually stepped back from that business. I just stepped back. But what I didn't do is completely disconnect. So at the time, I had been teaching a mindset course. So instead of teaching that course, because I just felt like such a fraud, I stepped back and I started interviewing millionaires. And I offered these as a free series, and I just interviewed millionaires about what they did when it comes to mindset and the metaphysical to create their success. So I stayed connected. I continued to be inspired, even though my life wasn't so great. But what that did for me, and I just thank God that I actually did do that, because that kept me in the loop. And then after listening to and interviewing, a series of millionaires, I sort of thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to keep going, because not one of them said, yeah, I came out of the gate and everything was great and everything was fantastic. They all said the same thing, that they had struggles, they had challenges, but they didn't give up. So I kind of swung back around to coaching, started coaching again. Everything sort of took off. My coaching business took off. I ended up writing a book. Then I created millions of dollars through a course. And it's like, then I ended up launching my own life coach training academy. And I now internationally certify people to become law of attraction coaches. But I look back at that time and think, if I hadn't made the decision to keep going, to be persistent, I would have stopped. I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't have created the success I had. I would have been back probably on welfare. So it really is about understanding that everybody who's created success, or I would say 99.9% of people, they have gone through some stuff, but they have persisted and they've kept going. And I think that's the main thing.
So persistence is the key, but it's also action. Now, I'm kind of curious though, is it just life coaches? And I only ask that because I'm already hearing some of my listeners ask that question. Is it only life coaches that can go from welfare to millionaire?
Oh gosh, no. Honestly, I have seen it over and over again. I mean, I obviously have a course that I take people through, and it's definitely not just for coaches. So I have people that are doctors, I have lawyers, I have accountants, I have clairvoyants, I have Reiki healers. Like, I've got the whole gamut. And the things that happen for people are mind-blowing. And it's simply every single person, if you learn how to align body, mind, and spirit, or learn how to align your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, then it will work. Because it's universal law. It's not like, it's going to work for you and you, but hey, not going to work for you there. It works for everybody. So yeah, absolutely, anyone can do it.
That's really good news to hear, because, I mean, we have more than just life coaches that are going to be listening. And so they want to know, like, does this work for me, even though I have 2 kids and a dog and, my husband just left, kind of thing.
Well, I was that person. I had 2 kids and no husband and, really struggling. Like, I was $100,000 in debt when I started. And so, there was part of me, there were times, I have to be honest, but I thought, you know what? Maybe the universe has decided that I am going to always struggle. Like, that's my future. That's how it's always going to be. But I just didn't give up. Because every time I thought about being a millionaire or having my own home or having a nice car or being able to travel wherever I wanted, whenever I wanted, whenever I thought about that, it lit me up so much from the inside out. It made me feel so good that I knew that must be in my future. I knew that must be waiting for me. I just had to figure out a way to make it happen. And so when I combined the mindset with the practical, that's when it happened.
Now, how do you step aside from but I'm lying to myself?
Oh, gosh. I lived that one. I mean, think about it. $100,000 in debt, on welfare, no skills. I dropped out of high school for no great skill, no connections, no one who could help me. And here's me saying, I am now a debt-free millionaire.
Yeah.
My mind is screaming, liar, liar, pants on fire. That is so not true. But I also knew that the more you said something, it's like anything. Think about it. When the very first time you watch a scary movie, I bet you're terrified. But if you watched it again, you're not so scared. Like I remember when I watched Jurassic Park, I seriously had nightmares for weeks. It was just so, like, because I'm not a scary movie person, but I could watch that now and not get scared at all. Well, it's because my mind got used to it. And so it's not that I thought it was real, but I just, you get used to things and you can accept them. Because when you're not used to something, when it's not in your reality, your mind says, this could be dangerous. Let's keep it away. This could, like, you could be killed. It all goes back to our Warren from caveman days, come across an animal, you don't know whether it's going to eat you or whatever. So what happens is, as an entrepreneur, as someone who's trying to create success, and you start thinking about having a wonderful business or having more money in your life, part of you absolutely wants that. Like for me, I absolutely wanted to be a millionaire when I was $100,000 in debt. Absolutely wanted that. But when I started to say that, as I said, lie, pencil, pie. So what I actually did was I had to create an affirmation that brought in a whole lot of qualifiers. So honestly, you think I'd remember now, but what was it? It was very long. I am now ready to accept that I am now in the process of becoming a debt-free millionaire. So it was very long, and I said that, but over the days and over the weeks, I started to drop some of that until I was saying I am now a debt-free millionaire. And even though I was $100,000 in debt, it felt okay. So anything that's new is going to feel uncomfortable, and depends on your level of uncomfort as to how much your brain says this could kill you, that you actually push it away. So you just got to do things to get used to it. And that's why hanging with people that make really good money, they always say, hang with people who make you look bad. And I used to think, why would you want to do that? Because if you hang with people who make you look bad, if you listen to people who make you look bad, if you are connected with people who are doing way better than you, like you're the worst one in the room, then you are more inspired and more motivated, and your brain, your mind opens up to the possibilities. But when you're the kingpin of your group, then, what is there to aspire to? So, yeah, it really isn't a matter of, you've just got to consistently be doing things to open your mind up to what's possible. And that's why the media, TV, Netflix, all the stuff, like garbage in, garbage out. You've got to be mindful of what you allow into your life, because that is creating your life.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I don't know if you're familiar with Shane and Jocelyn Sams. They created Flip Lifestyle, and basically it's all about like how to start your online business, essentially. And one of the things that they would constantly preach is to go on a media diet. If you're trying to get in a certain mindset, just don't listen to anything that is not in the exact mindset of what you're trying to.
Oh, totally. I haven't had a TV that's connected to the outside world for, I don't know, years and years and years. So, yeah.
Well, then how do you get your news?
Well, that's it. I don't. My daughter just told me the other day about an earthquake somewhere, and it was like, oh my gosh. But that's it. You think you won't know anything, but honestly, everyone tells you about everything. Like, it's just that you don't have to sit there and watch it and get it fed into your brain and hear it. It's better to hear it secondhand from someone than to be spending hours watching the news about it and just, basically
giving yourself filters.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. And one of the things you were saying about how you would like visualize that you were becoming a millionaire, it kind of reminds me of how they used to talk about athletes that would visualize themselves playing the big game, or elite runners that would run the race in their mind, and they would hook them up to all these machines, and the same things that were happening on the field would happen while they were just thinking about it.
I know. Like, they've been using visualization for decades in all the elite training centers all around the world. And like you said, they can just imagine it, but they can get the improvement in their style and their muscles and everything simply by, obviously not to the same extent if they're also training, but they can do that, and it can make such a difference. And so if they've been using it in the elite training centers around the world for decades, why can't we use it in our own life? And why can't we train to be the most successful we can be?
I love that so much. I really do. Now, I know you have some meditations and things like that on your website. Where can people find all that good stuff?
Yes, if you go to wildlywealthyfree.com, and we've got some guided visualizations, some affirmations just a few little things to get you started on that prosperity path, to start to think differently, to start to plant the seed for your own abundance.
And what advice would you give to someone who is feeling those nerves? Because, I mean, you mentioned being uncomfortable. How do you push through it and keep going to come out on the other side?
I think one of the biggest things that I really feel that helps people is to hear of other people's successes. Because I can tell you my story and people, might look at me and think, oh, she's different. But one of the things I love to do in all my programs is I always get everyone's successes. We always start with successes of the group. And so if there's any way you can tap into a community or a group that loves to share their successes, every time you hear someone else's success, and this isn't just in, a group, just in the world in general, every single time you hear of someone's success, instead of going, oh, I wish that was me, oh, they're so lucky, oh, how come I never get anything like that? Instead, just it's so easy, but so powerful. Instead, just listen and imagine it's you, and imagine the feelings you'd feel having manifested or created or had that same success or bought that car or been able to have that house or win this money or whatever it happens to be, get this job, get a raise, whatever it is. When you hear something amazing for something else, you don't have to, close your eyes and about it. You just simply need to feel the feelings as if it was you. And honestly, that can really start to change things because it's aligning you to that same success. It's aligning you to what it is you're focusing on.
Well, and it's also showing you what you can achieve.
Exactly, because if one person can do it, anyone can do it. It's just a matter of putting yourself out there and as I said, aligning body, mind, and spirit.
So why not you?
Exactly. Why not everyone?
I love that so much. So we now have the awesome free resource, but where else can people find you online?
They can find me at wildlywealthy.com, wildlywealthy.com. And at the moment, that's about it because my Facebook account's been hacked, so I don't even know if I'm going to get it back.
Oh, no, that's terrible.
I know.
But I mean, hey, at least you have a really awesome website, and there's so much good stuff on there, and I can attest to it. I've read, like I said, I've read the books. I've seen all the things, so I hope everybody will check it out.
I don't know if you can read it. There's a back or front. How to be wild.
It's fast. Yep, absolutely. It's fantastic. And I have, I think, 3 copies of that at this point.
Very good.
It's a true story. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I'm glad that you could chat with me on this.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Well, my bloggy friends, I hope you enjoyed all the insights our guest had to share with you. To get the show notes for this and all episodes, go over to famousashleygrant.com/podcast. And until next time, may your page views be high and your bounce rate be low.